Welcome to our deep dive into India today, January 7th, 2025. We're going to be looking at a collection of news headlines
Oh, very cool.
to try to get a pulse on what's happening in the country.
It's like we're time travelers peeking into a single day in India's future, like a snapshot of the nation's energy anxieties
Yeah,
and even some celebrations.
exactly.
Yeah.
We've got headlines from sources like the Hindustan Times,
Okay.
School Deco, and Jagran Josh. So a mix of national and regional perspectives.
Sounds good.
You ready to jump in?
Absolutely. Let's dive into this mix of politics,
Okay.
health, weather,
Yeah.
and a bit of legal drama.
So first up, Delhi is buzzing with pre-election activity. The Hindustan Times is reporting that the Election Commission is set to announce the schedule for the Delhi Assembly elections today. Now, the Election Commission is the independent body responsible for conducting elections in India.
I see.
And these local elections are getting national attention because they could indicate how people are feeling about the current ruling party,
Okay.
both in Delhi and across the country.
So Delhi's kind of like a political weather vane.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
So winning Delhi could be a good sign for the ruling party as they look ahead to national elections. But there's more to it than just symbolism, though, right?
Yeah.
What's actually at stake for the people of Delhi in this election?
Well, Delhi faces its own unique set of challenges.
Right.
Pollution, infrastructure, public services are always hot button issues.
Yeah.
And the outcome of this election will determine who tackles these issues for the next 5 years.
So it sounds like these elections have implications far beyond the borders of Delhi.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds. Now, on a completely different note, Prime Minister Modi is inaugurating a new railway division in Jammu, along with a bunch of other railway projects. This is according to School Deco, which seems to be following infrastructure development quite closely.
Okay.
Why all this focus on trains?
India is investing heavily in its rail network. It's a massive undertaking
Why?
with the potential to transform the country. This particular project aims to improve connectivity in the Jammu region, which could boost economic activity and create opportunities for local communities.
So for someone listening who might not be familiar with this region, why should they care about a new railway division in Jammu? What does this really mean for them?
Imagine smoother travel, faster transport of goods, and even new business opportunities emerging in a region that was previously harder to reach. This isn't just about laying down tracks. It's about connecting people to opportunities and opening up new avenues for growth.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Now let's unpack this next headline because it's a bit more complex. School Deco is also reporting on India's new data protection rules, which the union minister says will empower citizens.
All right.
But empowering in what way exactly? And are there any potential downsides we should be aware of?
Data privacy is a huge topic globally, and India is stepping up with these new regulations.
Okay.
At their core, these rules aim to give individuals more control over their personal information. Imagine being bombarded with marketing calls or spam emails.
Right.
Under these rules, companies need your explicit permission to use your data for marketing, so you'll have much more control over who can contact you.
So it's about giving individuals more power over their data and how it's used. But what about other types of data like financial or health records? Do these rules cover those too?
Absolutely. These new rules extend to sensitive personal data like financial information, health records, and even social media activity. The goal is to ensure that companies handle your data responsibly and transparently with safeguards against misuse.
It sounds like a positive step toward greater data security and digital ethics, but are there any concerns about how these regulations might impact businesses or innovation?
There are always concerns when new regulations come into play. Some argue that these rules might create additional burdens for companies, particularly smaller businesses. There's also a debate about whether the regulations strike the right balance between protecting individual rights and fostering innovation in the digital economy.
So there's definitely more to the story than meets the eye. It'll be interesting to see how these data protection rules play out in the long run and what impact they have on both individuals and businesses in India. Now, switching gears for a moment, there's some concerning health news coming out of Bengaluru.
Oh.
Jagran Josh is reporting on a rare case of HMPV,
Human metapneumovirus.
or human metapneumovirus, in a baby.
Okay.
It's a respiratory virus that can cause cold-like symptoms, particularly in young children and the elderly. This particular case is unusual because it's being reported during a time when HMPV cases are typically less common.
I see.
Okay, so maybe not a widespread outbreak, but still concerning for this family.
Yeah.
What does this case tell us about public health in India?
It highlights the ongoing challenges India faces in managing public health, especially for respiratory illnesses.
Right.
There are questions about early detection and access to specialized care for infants. This case also raises concerns about the potential strain on healthcare resources, particularly during flu season when hospitals are already stretched thin.
It's a reminder that even common viruses can pose significant risks, especially to vulnerable populations, and that access to healthcare is crucial. Speaking of challenges, let's move on to the weather school. Decaux reports that Delhi is experiencing light rain and a temperature dip to 9.6 degrees Celsius. It might sound pleasant to some, but I imagine it has its own set of challenges.
Certainly in a city like Delhi, even light rain can snarl traffic and disrupt daily commutes.
Yeah.
For those who rely on outdoor work, it could mean lost income. The drop in temperature, while not extreme, might still pose challenges for those without adequate shelter or heating.
It's a reminder that even seemingly mild weather events can have significant impacts on people's lives, particularly those who are most vulnerable. And meanwhile, up north in Kashmir, fresh snowfall is intensifying the cold wave there.
Ah, Kashmir.
Yeah.
While the snow creates a stunning winter wonderland, it also brings its own set of challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Road closures, potential power outages, and difficulties accessing essential services are just some of the realities for people living in this region.
It's a stark contrast. While some in Delhi might be enjoying a cozy winter day, others in Kashmir are facing serious disruptions to their lives. It's a reminder of the diverse realities across different regions of India. Now let's dive into a legal battle making headlines. School Deco reports that the Supreme Court has moved the Competition Commission of India cases involving Amazon and Flipkart to the Karnataka High Court.
Okay, so the Supreme Court is the highest court in India.
Yes, that's correct.
And the Competition Commission of India, or CCI,
Right.
is essentially India's antitrust watchdog.
Yeah.
They're investigating allegations that Amazon and Flipkart, two of India's biggest e-commerce giants, have been engaging in anti-competitive practices.
So for our listeners who might not follow the intricacies of antitrust law, what exactly are these companies accused of doing, and why should they care about this legal battle?
The CCI is looking into whether Amazon and Flipkart are favoring certain sellers on their platforms and engaging in predatory pricing tactics that could stifle competition and ultimately harm consumers.
So this case could have major implications for the future of e-commerce in India and how these online marketplaces are regulated.
Absolutely. The outcome of these cases could shape the regulatory landscape for online businesses in India. It could impact everything from how products are priced to the choices available to consumers.
Okay, that definitely adds a new layer of complexity to this story. Now, amidst all these developments, there's also some good news to highlight. Skulda mentions that Punjab is celebrating Guru Gobind Singh's birth anniversary, an important religious figure for the Sikh community.
Guru Gobind Singh is revered for his courage, wisdom, and commitment to social justice. His birth anniversary, known as Prakash Purb, is celebrated with great enthusiasm and devotion. It's a time for reflection, prayer, and community gatherings.
It's wonderful to see these celebrations taking place alongside all the other news we've been discussing. And speaking of celebrations, the Delhi Chief Minister inaugurated an Olympic-level shooting range at a government school, which seems to be a big step towards promoting sports at the grassroots level.
This is a fantastic initiative. Providing young people, especially those from government schools, with access to world-class facilities is a powerful statement. It sends a message that talent can be nurtured anywhere, regardless of background or socioeconomic status.
It's inspiring to see investments in education and sports that can potentially uplift communities and nurture future champions. But on a more somber note, School Deco also mentioned that schools in Patna are closed due to the cold wave.
Yes, this highlights the very real impact weather can have on daily life, particularly for children. School closures disrupt education, and for families without adequate heating, the cold can pose serious health risks.
It's a sobering reminder that while progress is being made in some areas, there are still many challenges that India faces, and that weather can often exacerbate these challenges. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive, from elections and legal battles to health concerns, weather, and even some celebrations. It's been quite a journey so far.
It's remarkable how much we can glean from a single day's worth of headlines. It's like we've taken a snapshot of India in motion, a glimpse into the complex tapestry of events, challenges, and triumphs that make up daily life in this vibrant nation.
And we're not done yet. There's still more to uncover in this snapshot of India on January 7th, 2025. Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll continue to unpack these headlines and explore even more fascinating insights. Welcome back to our deep dive into the heart of India, unfolding through the headlines of January 7th, 2025. We've already uncovered a mix of political maneuvering,
Yeah,
legal battles, and even the ripple effects of weather on daily life. Ready to keep exploring?
absolutely. It's like we're putting together a giant jigsaw puzzle of India,
Yeah.
each headline revealing a new piece of the picture.
Exactly. And speaking of puzzles, remember those Competition Commission of India cases against Amazon and Flipkart? The Supreme Court transferred these cases to the Karnataka High Court.
Right.
And I'm curious to understand why.
Well, the Karnataka High Court has a reputation for handling complex commercial cases efficiently.
Okay.
So by transferring the cases there, the Supreme Court might be aiming to speed up the legal process.
So potentially faster resolutions on these allegations of anti-competitive practices. But what does that actually mean for the average person in India? How could this impact their lives?
Imagine you're shopping online and you notice that prices for certain products seem inflated, or that your favorite small businesses are getting squeezed out by bigger players.
Right.
That's what the CCI is trying to prevent.
Okay.
A quicker resolution could mean a faster return to a fair and competitive market,
Hmm.
which ultimately benefits consumers.
Okay, so it's not just about legal technicalities. It's about ensuring fairness and protecting consumers in the rapidly growing e-commerce landscape. Now let's revisit those new data protection rules.
Yeah.
The government claims they'll empower citizens, but I want to understand what that means in practical terms. Can you give me an example of how these rules might actually benefit someone in their daily life?
Imagine this. You're applying for a loan, and the bank wants access to your social media data to assess your creditworthiness.
Oh.
Under these new rules, you have the right to say no. You have more control over what personal information you share and with whom.
That's a great example. It really brings home the point about individual empowerment in the digital space. It's not just about protecting data, it's about giving people more agency over their own information.
Precisely. And it goes beyond financial data. Think about your health records or even your browsing history. These rules aim to create a more transparent and accountable digital environment where individuals have more control over their personal data.
It sounds like a positive step towards building a more ethical and user-centric digital ecosystem. Now let's shift gears and talk about something a bit more celebratory. Deco mentioned that Punjab is marking Guru Gobind Singh's birth anniversary. Can you tell us a bit more about this celebration and its significance?
Guru Gobind Singh is a central figure in Sikhism, known for his profound spiritual teachings and unwavering courage. His birth anniversary, known as Prakash Purb, is celebrated with great fervor by Sikhs worldwide. It's a time for spiritual reflection, community gatherings, and joyful processions.
It sounds like a beautiful and vibrant celebration. It's amazing to see these rich cultural traditions alive and well in modern India. And speaking of celebrating achievements, we can't forget the Delhi Chief Minister inaugurating that Olympic-level shooting range at a government school. What message does this send, especially to young people in Delhi?
This initiative is incredibly impactful. Imagine being a young student from a government school and now having access to world-class facilities for shooting practice. It sends a powerful message about the importance of sports, the potential for excellence, and the commitment to nurturing talent regardless of background.
It's truly inspiring. Providing these opportunities can have a transformative impact on young lives and communities. But amidst these positive developments, there's a reminder of the challenges faced by many. School Deco also reported that Patna schools are closed due to the cold wave.
Yes, this highlights the reality that many parts of India are vulnerable to extreme weather conditions. School closures not only disrupt education but can also pose risks to children's health, especially in areas with limited access to heating and proper insulation.
It's a stark reminder that progress doesn't always reach everyone at the same pace, and that factors like weather can significantly impact daily life, especially for those who are most vulnerable.
You've touched upon a crucial point. It's about acknowledging the complexities of progress and recognizing that challenges persist even as advancements are made.
Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, let's circle back to that case of the baby in Bengaluru who tested positive for HMPV. We know this virus isn't uncommon, so why is this particular case making headlines?
This case underscores the challenges India faces regarding pediatric healthcare and disease surveillance. It raises questions about the accessibility of specialized care for infants, particularly those from marginalized communities. It also shines a light on the importance of early detection and the potential strain on healthcare resources during periods of heightened respiratory illness.
So while HMPV might not be a new threat, this case serves as a reminder of the ongoing need for robust public health infrastructure, particularly in managing seasonal illnesses and protecting vulnerable populations.
Exactly. It's about ensuring that healthcare systems are equipped to handle both common and uncommon illnesses, and that access to quality care is equitable for all.
We've covered so much ground in this second part of our deep dive, from legal battles and data privacy to inspiring initiatives and the persistent challenges of public health. What stands out to you the most from this snapshot of India?
What fascinates me is the dynamic interplay between progress and challenges. We see initiatives aimed at empowering individuals and creating opportunities, yet we also see reminders of the vulnerabilities that persist. It's a glimpse into the ongoing narrative of a nation striving for a brighter future while grappling with complex realities.
It's a truly captivating picture of a nation in constant motion where innovation and tradition coexist, and where challenges are met with resilience and a drive to create positive change. But we're not done yet. There's still one more layer to uncover in our deep dive into January 7th, 2025. Join us for the final part, where we'll wrap up our exploration and leave you with some final thoughts to ponder. Welcome back to the final part of our journey through these headlines of India for January 7th, 2025.
Looking forward to it.
We've explored a lot, from legal showdowns and data privacy to heartwarming celebrations and the ever-present challenges of public health. Ready to wrap things up?
Absolutely. It's amazing how these different pieces come together to give us a snapshot of India.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of a bigger picture, let's revisit those Delhi Assembly elections. The Hindustan Times mentioned that the Election Commission was set to announce the election schedule today. What are your final thoughts on these elections, not just for Delhi, but for India as a whole?
Well, these Delhi elections are more than just a local contest. They're a microcosm of the political dynamics at play across India.
Right.
The results will be analyzed for hints about the public's mood and what that might mean for national politics down the line.
So they're like a barometer for the nation's political climate.
Exactly.
But beyond the political implications, what makes these elections particularly significant for the people of Delhi?
Well, the stakes are high for Delhi residents. These elections will determine who addresses the city's pressing issues for the next 5 years, from pollution and infrastructure to public services and the rising cost of living.
It's a reminder that elections are not just about abstract political power, but about real-life consequences for people's everyday lives. Now, before we conclude our deep dive, I want to touch on something that's been woven throughout our discussion: the concept of India as a nation of contrasts. We've seen examples of incredible progress alongside persistent challenges. What do you think this duality tells us about India today?
This juxtaposition of progress and challenges is what makes India so captivating.
Yeah.
It's a nation of immense diversity, where tradition and modernity coexist, where technological advancements intertwine with ancient cultural practices. It's a reminder that development is not a linear process. It's a complex tapestry of achievements, setbacks, and the constant striving for a better future.
It's like witnessing a nation in constant flux, always evolving, adapting, and pushing forward despite the complexities. So as we wrap up our deep dive into January 7th, 2025, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners will carry with them?
India is a land of boundless potential, a nation brimming with energy, resilience, and a spirit of innovation. It's a place where challenges are met head-on and where the pursuit of progress is relentless. This snapshot of a single day is just a glimpse into the dynamic and multifaceted nature of this extraordinary nation.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the heart of India through these headlines. We've delved into political currents, navigated legal landscapes, and witnessed the impact of weather and health concerns on everyday lives. We've also celebrated moments of cultural vibrancy and inspiring initiatives that are shaping the nation's future.
And as we conclude our exploration, the question for you, dear listener, is this: what aspect of this snapshot of India resonated most with you? What new perspectives have you gained? What further questions does it spark in your mind?
Remember, this is just the beginning of your own deep dive into India. The headlines we explored today are just a starting point. We encourage you to delve deeper, explore further, and continue to learn about this vibrant and ever-evolving nation.
The journey of discovery never truly ends, and as you continue to explore, we hope you'll carry with you a sense of wonder, a curiosity for the world around you, and a deeper understanding of the complex tapestry that makes up the human experience.